Hello and welcome back. In this part of the poem, Tirza is happy to reconstitute Albion with a brain and heart that are in harmony with each other. But in this fallen state, that's not a good thing. She's content that this version of the three heavens of Beulah will do, but it contains very flawed versions of the head and heart and lions of the daughters of Beulah. Fittingly, she alludes to the two tribes of Israel who broke away, Ephraim and Manasseh. Everything going on then is a pale reflection of truth. Milton is half here in Ulro, still trying to humanize Urizen, and half in eternity receiving spiritual support. He still thinks obeying the Ten Commandments, indicated by Horeb, is the way to earn a resurrection in the day of judgment. Blake calls again for the ability to express this universal conflict in an articulate manner. He reminds us strongly that the poem is allegorical, and not to think in terms of real distance between worlds, but all eternity is contained in everything, even the fly. We don't travel to heaven, so to speak. We recreate ourselves through expanding our minds. So now, on to the reading. Her shadowy sisters form the bones, even the bones of Horeb, around the marrow, and the orb's skull around the brain. His images are born for war, for sacrifice to Tirza, to natural religion, to Tirza, the daughter of Rahab the Holy. She ties the knot of nervous fibres into a white brain. She ties the knot of bloody veins into a red-hot heart. Within her bosom Albion lies embalmed, never to awake. Hand is become a rock. Sinai and Horeb is Hyle and Coban. Schofield is bound in iron armour before Reuben's gate. She ties the knot of milky seed into two lovely heavens, two yet but one, each in the other sweet reflected. These are our three heavens beneath the shades of Beulah, land of rest. Come then to Ephraim and Manasseh, O beloved one. Come to my ivory palaces, O beloved of thy mother, and let us bind thee in the bands of war, and be thou king of Canaan, and reign in Hazor where the 12 tribes meet. So spoke they as in one voice. Silent, Milton stood before the darkened horizon, as the sculptor silent stands before his forming image. He walks around it, patient, labouring. Thus Milton stood forming bright Urizen, while his mortal part sat frozen in a rock of Horeb, and his redeemed portion thus formed the clay of Urizen, but within that portion his real human walked above in power and majesty, though darkened, and the 7 angels of the presence attended him. Oh, how can I with my gross tongue, that cleaveth to the dust, tell of the fourfold man in starry numbers fitly ordered? Or how can I with my cold hand of clay? But thou, O Lord, do with me as thou wilt, for I am nothing, and vanity. If thou choose to elect a worm, it shall remove the mountains for that portion named the elect. The spectrous body of Milton, redounding from my left foot into Los's mundane space, brooded over his body in Horeb against the resurrection, preparing it for the great consummation. Red the cherubim Sinai glowed, but in terrors folded round his clouds of blood. Now Albion's sleeping humanity began to turn upon his couch, feeling the electric flame of Milton's awful precipitate descent. Seest thou the little winged fly, smaller than a grain of sand? It has a heart like thee, a brain open to heaven and hell, with inside wondrous and expansive. Its gates are not closed. I hope thine are not. Hence it clothes itself in rich array. Hence thou art clothed with human beauty, O thou mortal man. Seek not thy heavenly Father then beyond the skies. There chaos dwells, and ancient night, and Og and Enac old. For every human heart has gates of brass and bars of adamant, which few dare unbar, because dread Og and Enac guard the gates terrific, and each mortal brain is walled and moated around within. And Og and Enac watch here. Here is the seat of Satan in its webs, for in brain and heart and lions gates open behind Satan's seat to the city of Golgonooza, which is the spiritual fourfold London in the Lions of Albion. Blake introduces us to a few of Albion's sons. They're often created from characters that Blake had had bad experiences with, such as the soldier Schofield, who had Blake arrested and charged with treason. Og and Enac might well refer to one person, Og, king of Bashan, one of the last of the giant Rephaites. In Arabic literature, Og's surname is Ibn Anak. As two giants, they strengthened Satan's fortress, which is the mental prison where humankind is kept captive. It's very important, I think, to keep in mind that nothing in this poem is really physical. All the creatures are spiritual entities. All the places are symbols. This world is a world of universal consciousness, disintegrated and working to unite itself again. And as in all stories of good versus evil, it is a huge contest, and we are not just the audience. We are the people in the story, if we want to be.